Finished Chelsea 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Part of me feels like that scoreline flatters Chelsea a little bit, but I suppose Wolves just didn't create nowhere near enough in today's game. Of course, first game for Wolves this season without Bruno Lage. We had James Collins and Steve Davis on the touchline. And I was hoping that... Look, I don't think I was going in this game expecting to win, but I was hoping we'd see just something a little bit more different, a little bit more fight, a little bit more passion. We definitely saw something a little bit different with the team lineup. We saw Sarr starting goal, Totti Gomez had come in for Neves as a centre-back. So we saw a back four of Johnny, Totti Gomez, Max Kilman and Semedo. Midfield two of Matinho and Nunes, Guedes, Pedence and Adama starting as a forward three just in behind Diego Costa. And straight off from the off really, Chelsea were attacking down there, right, our left, and I thought Johnny was really struggling to contain the players that were down there. I think it was Gallagher, and just straight from the off I thought Chelsea wanted it more than Wolves. We didn't fight enough for the ball, we didn't want the ball enough. And a common theme throughout the 90 was that our ball retention was very, very poor in terms of keeping hold of the ball. You know, ever since Bruno's come in, he's tried to get us this team that are try and play out from the back. And sometimes it's good. You know, there are games where you look at the possession stats and think, wow, Wolves have had a lot of the ball. But sometimes it can get us into a little bit more bother than it's worth. But we held on. We created a couple of our own opportunities in the first half. You know, a lot of them are having a lot of joy down our right hand side through Adama Traore, who, you know, added that much needed sort of urgency and pace going forward at times that we've lacked at times this year. Created a couple of opportunities. Matheus Nunes having one or two really decent runs of his own as well. Unfortunately, Diego Costa was kept quiet for his sort of 55-minute appearance on the pitch today. But it was right on half-time, wasn't it, when we gave away the first goal. I think if you can go into the half-time goalless, you can sort of think in your mind, what can we do now to sort of, you know, I think, you know, try and obstruct and restrict Chelsea from creating many more chances. But when you go in 1-0 down right on half-time, it scuppers your sort of team talk, really. But it came through Kai Havertz, a floated ball into the area, and he's at the back post of sort of a looping header. And it didn't really have much pace or accuracy on it. It just sort of wrong-footed Jose Sarr, who, in my opinion, should have probably done a little bit better. We see this a lot with Jose Sarr. We know he's an eccentric goalkeeper. He can get caught out every now and then, but he's sort of come off his line and then doesn't really get back onto his line quick enough, and the header just almost loops over him, and I'm not sure if he's expecting it to go over or wide, but sort of realises that it's just dipped over him and into the back of the net. So like I said, frustrating to go in at half-time with that. And we started off the second half quite brightly. A lot of joy again. One of the big shocks was that we saw a half-time sub, and it's Guedes, who had a pretty quiet game, to be honest. It's frustrating because I think Gonzalo Guedes has been very underwhelming since he signed for Wolves. He was one of the players that I was really excited to be signing. He's a player that got good number of goal contributions over for Valencia in Spain, but just hasn't quite found his feet yet at Wolves. And he got subbed off for Joe Hodge. I think the midfield battle, Chelsea were winning it, and Joe Hodge came on. I think he did an all right job, to be fair. You know, he's a player that struggled with injuries in the under-23s. He's come on today, and I thought he had a half-decent cameo for 45 minutes. I think players like Connor Ronan are probably on the bench thinking, now, what can I do to get a kick in this team at the moment? There was a couple of whispers off people on social media thinking that maybe he should start, almost a like-for-like swap with Ruben Neves. But obviously Hodge got the nod to come on ahead of him. And again, we started off all right in the second half, but in the end it was a second goal for Chelsea. A great through ball from Mason Mount, squeezes it in between two Wolves defenders, and Pulisic with a nice little dinked finish over Jose Sarr. But just the same old story for Wolverhampton Wanderers, where we do not look like scoring. We don't look like threatening football teams at the moment. And it was the same again. We'd never really had a solid sniff at scoring a goal. Never really tested Kepa too much for Chelsea in goal. But like I said, they got their third in the end, Chelsea. It was a little bit disappointing because I don't think they created enough clear-cut opportunities to win the game by 3 clear goals. But at the same time, Wolves just didn't didn't deserve to get anything out of the game, full stop, really. It was Armando Broja who came off the bench quite late on, who smashes it past Sarr in the end. And like I said, ball retention very poor from Wolves today. Whoever comes in charge, it looks like it might be Julian Lopetegui. needs to sort that out. And now next week's game against Forest almost becomes a must-win game. We're still sat in the bottom three right now. Of course, there's a long way to go, and I think, I've got full confidence that this team has got a lot of quality, and just with a little bit of confidence in the team again. And, I think we have been unfortunate with injuries. You look at the subs bench today, for argument's sake, and no disrespect to the likes of Joe Hodge and Chem Campbell, who I thought both came on and did an okay job. But when you've got players like that, and then Chelsea are able to bring on players of the quality of, Kovacic and, whoever else came on, Broha, who was a very good Premier League level striker last year as well. That's where we're going to come unstuck. And I think we have been unfortunate with injuries. You see the injury and suspension list that we've got right now. And hopefully, the likes of Neves back next week. We can sort of regroup, look at the team, hopefully have a good 4 or 5 days with a new manager in charge and try and get some confidence back in this side. Because we know there's a side with quality football players in there. They've just got, something's got to click, and hopefully it'll come very, very soon. But it's finished Chelsea 3, Wolves 0. Disappointing way to start/end the weekend, however you look at it. But fingers crossed we come back and grab 3 points next weekend against Forest. As always, guys, if you caught the game, be sure to hit the like button down below and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I'll see you all very, very soon.